It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. Well, Makers Week happened this week, and some people posted some very impressive projects. I, however, did not participate this year. I have kind of my own really big project going on, which I'm looking forward to being able to share here on the channel in short order. But man, everybody's project was completely awesome. You know, the stuff that people come up with is just very creative stuff. Two that kind of stood out for me as kind of being really interesting. It's when somebody combines rocks with some other skill or talent or, you know, whatever that they find that they have. A good example would be Katie did her mug. Her mug was very cool with like the stone embedded in it. I kind of knew that she did some like throwing some pottery stuff because I think I've seen it in the back of some of her videos. And then Karen, Ozone Fine Art out there on the Oregon coast. Her lamp was exceptional. Very cool to see like stones and woodworking and a lamp and all of that. I like that. But maybe next year I'll be able to have the time and stuff to be able to participate. Well, I have something kind of fun that I want to show you here. Now, some of you know that I'm getting into the world of micro mounts, okay? So that is basically the process of taking a little tiny, well, hey, there you go, that's my number. A little tiny box and mounting a mineral specimen in it. Well, I have something very cool showed up in the mail. These instructions from Betsy Martin, who sent to me via Mike Seed. It's cool to see this. Now, Betsy, she's no longer with us, but her illustrated guide to micromounting is just, this is amazing. You know, like, I'm consistently impressed. I mean, like, that's the whole process right there. Consistently impressed with rockhounding people. I guess she was an art teacher. I'm going to put some links down below to some videos that Betsy was in, kind of pertaining to the subject. I think it's very, very cool to see. I might scan this into a PDF, and if anybody needs a copy ever, I can maybe pass it along, because it's a very, very cool thing to have. Something like that from somebody that's literally an expert in the world of micro minerals, micro mounting. Yeah, that. Speaking of meeting good rockhounds, I guess I never met her. Good rockhounds in general, though. Some of you know that I have a membership here on the channel. There's a join button down below, and you can click it, and there's like, I think, over 80 extra videos now. Well, one of the things we do is I do a monthly giveaway for the members, and it was actually somebody local here to me, P&W Explorer. So I actually hand-delivered the giveaway rocks this month. And it's just always cool to meet somebody that's like-minded and talk shop a little bit. You know, we hung out for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes on his porch and talked about rocks in the summer and the different adventures that they're going to go on and some of the adventures we're going to go on. And it's just, as cool as the rocks are, when I see stuff like the community of other rockhounds, Makers Challenge, people like Betsy, people like Mike sending it to me, helping me into the world of micromounting, Charles, all of these people, like, I want to say, man, 99%. I'm going to go with 99% of rockhounds are good people. One thing I started doing this past week is I want to process out all of the material that I have. And in other words, like, I don't like this idea of rock sitting around without like any kind of real purpose. I really want to know if it's good. So I started going through the rhyolite that we picked up in Utah and cutting it. Started cutting this stuff and looking and investigating and being like, is this good material? And really kind of delving into it some, because it's the type of stuff where, you know, on the outside, right, like it looks really blah, right, you know, there's really not a whole lot of indication of it being good until you cut it. And yeah, I mean, some of it, like, it's obvious, right? Like, I don't need to cut this to know that that's going to be a good piece if I cut it up. And the stuff looks really good. I mean, really good wet. Let's just look at this one right here. Look at that. That's awesome, you know? And you can kind of tell from this piece. But my point is, I want to be able to get rid of a lot of stuff and kind of hone in the material and be like, is it good? I keep it. If it's not, it gets dumped. And some of it, you know, is definitely not the best, right? You cut into, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. But it kind of seems like that is starting to taper out. So, you know, maybe keep that, but not that. But as I go through this material, it's fun to learn from it. So one of the most beneficial things that I've found over time is to take the material like this and just cut through it. This whole bucket, that whole bucket right here, this is all material that is not good from that location, that will be getting dumped in the pile behind my house, you know, simply because it doesn't have the banding. It doesn't have the it's not good, not really good rhyolite. Yeah, that. You gotta sometimes just work through the material, I guess. Well, this video from the past week, really it's from October, the fire opal. Interesting, interesting to say the least. You know, I feel like some people, maybe they just don't get it. Like, there's nothing wrong with not knowing stuff. There's a ton of stuff that I don't know. But the problem is when you have people that don't know stuff and they're very confident in what they don't know. Got a decent number of comments from people that it would appear from reading it that they watched like a singular Pulitzer opal video or a single black opal direct video, and they remembered one thing from one video and only half of it. Yeah, so let's look at some opal, right? First off, typically, this is the type of opal, right? This is your very kind of standard, kind of cruddy opal that you will find out here in eastern Washington. It's quite prevalent. This piece actually broke off here. How does this puzzle go back together? Maybe it doesn't matter. Well, you get the drift. But yeah, this kind of big crusty opal. Not a whole lot you can do with it. I've heard a lot of things about this stuff that isn't true. I've heard things said like, if you leave it out, it'll just break. That's not true. I haven't found that with any of the opal here in Washington that I have. Some of it has been out for a very long time. I do have some of that opal from Jenny's in water, and it's very pretty. It doesn't have to be in water. So I filmed that in October, and a lot of it has actually been sitting out just like in my house, and not worked on at all. I also went back out there and I now have a nice little plate of opal to mess with. This being the portion that we collected that in the video, and this is the stuff that we collected more recently. So let's look at some of the more recent stuff. This, we have like more reds, and then we get into some yellow in the middle. You kind of see that there. Now I feel like, you know, obviously some of this has some fracturing going on. Other bits are very solid. I mean, she's been putting this stuff in a rock tumbler, right? Like, if it can survive a rock tumbler, it should be able to survive a lot of different things. But I'm very happy for her. It's very cool to see somebody find something like this. I mean, it's so cool to be part of this kind of opal discovery out here. Look at that. So some of this, yeah, like I don't know if this piece specifically would be very good for cutting, cabbing, and that. But some of these bigger pieces, I think you could definitely. I mean, I kind of polished up some of that, messing around. This piece was just kind of fractured up, but look at that. Yeah, I mean that's just a big piece, big piece of opal. You know, makes you wonder. She's just now kind of getting down below the freeze layer, because, you know, I mean, it freezes if you have water. The freeze thaw cycling cracks it and stuff. So getting below that, that's going to actually kind of more so tell you what you want to know about the material. And this came from probably 24 inches down. I was hoping to break some rock and stuff, but very cool to see. Very cool to see some thick seams of opal. This isn't the only Eastern Washington opal I hope to pick up this summer. Unfortunately, all of the, I guess, really good opal, it seems like it's all on private property. So the whole process of acquiring the material is, well, it's a process, right? You got to get permission. You got to get permission. And that, well, my big project that I'm working on, I hope to have that, be able to show you guys that thing in the coming weeks. I feel very, very good about it, you know. And this coming week, I have 2 really good videos. One's going to be a shop video, and one is going to be something probably like you've never seen before. I would say not on par with the opal. The opal's pretty epic. But I'll give you a little sneak peek of what is to come this coming week. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in the shop, listening to what I have to say, and I will catch you in the next video. 3 times this coming week. All right, y'all take care.